HYPERCAR Mountain.
Hi, this is Larry Hatch for another exciting episode of HYPERCAR Mountain. Today's episode is focused on the Mercedes SLS AMG, also known as the SL500 in the past. But most of the models we're going to cover today are of the AMG modification, that is the higher end, more performance, true supercar versions. It is not the same as the McLaren AMG, which is a even more hypercar. We have an episode coming up on that. So this is limited to the so-called AMG GTs or GTRs, GTR Pros, that sort of thing. And I've collected quite a number of them, and I'm going to show you just the 7 best that would be worthy of your attention as a collector. Like a lot of times, you got to start out with the Kyosho model here in white, and this thing is absolutely perfect. The amount of detail on it, excuse me, is extraordinary. Even down to the small AMG on the tail end. It's an absolutely smashing car. Unlike many of the others, the side vents are painted a contrasting color. And they really went out of their way to make it look perfect. The wheels especially are good because they're a 2-spoke wheel, and they went out of their way to make those extraordinary. The second car I want to talk about here is one that's getting to be uncommon, if not already. It's a Greenlight car. And you have to look at it close. It actually has a bit of a fine metal flake in the black color to it. It's got some silver markings on the side vents. Very, very detailed, beautiful headlamps in plastic, multiple color plastic, red tail lamps, AMG on the back. It's got black wheels that are rubber type tire. And again, they went out of their way to make this thing look good. It is unfortunately fairly hard to find. The ones I've seen today on eBay were sold as the German edition. I don't remember if mine was called the German edition when I bought it. But they are extremely limited, and they generally run $25 to $45. They come in 2 colors. They come in a dark blue navy metallic with black wheels, and then also this black one, metallic, with black wheels. It's a really good looking car, and the amount of chassis detail on this thing is extraordinary. I think it may have originally been made for a base, because there's 2 holes in the chassis where you can attach it to a base, but mine never came with that. The third one I want to look at here today is a really beautiful Welly, and that's a originally a British brand, and this one is an SLS AMG, and it comes in a beautiful dark red, also in a silver. The tires are somewhat hard, but they're textured tread. Has bright chrome wheels. It's got a silver gas cap. The tail lamps are multiple colors. Got AMG on the back. Detailed grille. It's a really nice car. The wheels are a little maybe springy, but there's a lot of chassis detail, so I've put it in the elite group here. The fourth one I want to talk about is the Tomica. It's number 7 in that particular series. It's a full AMG GT R, and it is a higher performance version that comes with a massive rear spoiler, frequently carbon fiber. This is a great example because the doors open, and you can see the beautiful, beautiful interior appointments. They even went to the trouble of painting part of the dash and the steering wheel in a matching green color. Wow, kudos for that. The wheels are fairly simple, rough plastic, and they have kind of a silver ring with It looks like 5 black spokes underneath. Not really true to the real car. It does have red tail lamps, but no AMG on the back. The spoiler is fairly solid, looks realistic. The headlamps are just simple painted silver. The grille looks good. It's got a really good front splitter that looks realistic, and it's got a nice matte charcoal to black roof, which simulates the carbon fiber that was available with it. There's a number of different variants of it. Mine is this kind of lime green, and this is actually true to the original color. It's kind of like a dark grassy lime color. That's hard to explain. I tried to find out if there was a name for this color, and I couldn't find one. But this is true to the original green that the AMG GT R was offered in, and they call them the Green Beast. And I went on a website, and there were actually about 6 of them for sale around the country. Most of them from about 150 or 145 to about $170,000. So they do hold their value even after a couple years old. And this Tommy example is great. Besides this green one with a black roof, there's also one that's red and gold. And there's also a black one that says Haibo, H-A-I-B-O Racing decals. And that is a very rare one, going currently for about $78. These cars can be kind of confusing because there's really so many different versions of them over the years. The one you're going to probably see in your town will probably be an SL500 or an SL550. They are the cheap versions, if you will. But again, you're going to still pay $90,000 to $100,000 for one of those. And those are some great looking machines. Here I've got a chart with probably the 4 most important versions that are offered today and have been in the last couple years. From 18 to 20, that was the AMG Coupe. And there are some convertibles of these. That basic AMG Coupe without the R, or without the black, is about 115,000 plus options. Has 469 horsepower to 3.9 seconds 0 to 60. The 2020 AMG C Coupe, which is new to me, is on Mercedes website. That starts at 150 and boosts you up to 550 horsepower with 3.6 seconds 0 to 60. They haven't offered it this year, at least according to the website, but last year in 2019 they had the AMG GT R Pro. That's one that a lot of the collectors are going for. It starts at $20,000, and to get one used, you're probably going to pay $30,000 if it's recent, and that bumps it up to 577 horsepower. Although a lot of people are tuning them, and your 0 to 60 time gets down to 3.2. Although I've heard 3.0 is very doable with some exhaust changes. The most elite of all of these was offered in 2019 and 2020. And it's not really a 2020. It was kind of the end of 19. But we think it's going to be offered again. It's called the GT Black or GTR Pro Black. And I got a picture of the real car. That is no granddad's Mercedes. That is a true track-focused car with 660 to 690 horsepower. We know it had 660 in the past. I don't have numbers for the latest versions or what might be coming up, but you can determine this thing. It does not have the small spoiler like the GTR Pro. It has this huge race wing on it, and the front grille has got like these metal supports, almost like thick wires, that keep the front spoiler attached for enormous amounts of downforce. The rumor is that there will be a 2020 GTR Pro Black, probably just called the GT Black, at around 700 horsepower, but that's just a rumor. We don't know the price on these, but Expect at least $250,000 to 300 on those. They don't just come in black, that's just the name. Some of them come in this beautiful matte charcoal, but people have them done in other colors too. So I just want to present these cars because they can be really confusing, and I had a lot of trouble getting good data on these, to be honest with you. 3 more cars to go, and I'll try to be quick about this. The next one here in black is a generic Chinese car. It's more of a dark charcoal, has a nice metal flake, has red tail lamps, and some silver accents around the exhaust pipes. It's got a Mercedes logo, but no AMG. The wheels are kind of springy, and it's kind of a cheapish car, except that it's got multi-spokes that don't look too bad. I don't know what model it's supposed to be. I'm guessing it is one of the AMGs, but without the spoiler, it could well be a regular SL500 or 550. But it's a nice car, and it's very cheap. The interior is all blacked out. In the windows, you can't see into it. But it looks nice because of these extra, I don't know, what are they, 10 spokes or so? And a lot of grille detail. The headlamps are plastic clear inserts, so it does look fairly decent. I tried to find it on the internet, and I found a few people calling them the UCC prize. I don't know what that means. I guess it was some kind of a giveaway or something. And I do know that they come in black and a more rare silver version. The next one I have here is represented by 2 cars, one in chrome and one in grass, kind of a Kelly green. These are the Majorette cars, and these are full AMG GTRs, and they have doors that open. They have beautiful red tail lamps, but not a lot of detail. And again, you can tell it's a GTR because of the spoiler in the back. It doesn't say AMG on the back, but it does have a nice Mercedes logo. Typical of a Majorette, there's no chassis, engine, or exhaust detail. And there's some intricate painting or tampoing on the side vent that says V8 something. The wheels are very sturdy with some tread, but they're not too soft and rubbery. They have a silver ring and a dual black spoke if you look closely. The grille is fairly detailed, and the headlamps are clear plastic inserts. They have black hood vents, very simply done with no texture on those. And if you try to look at the interior, it's not bad, but there's no multicolor stuff to it here. I went out of my way to get this chrome one because I just love chrome vehicles. And for reasons I cannot explain, the chrome one just seems to look a little better. And maybe it's because the tail lamps pop a little better, because the tail lamps are red and silver with silver markings, and they do appear to pop a little more. And of course the doors open like the green one. And this is kind of a strange wheel on this thing. It's kind of a rotor blade type wheel. That would be typical of somebody who'd probably wrap a $200,000 car in chrome. So hey, maybe it's not that far off. These Majorettes that are GTRs, AMG GTRs, come in this Kelly green. That is not the true green of the original car's introduction. As we said, the Tomica had the right shade of green. It also comes in chrome. I think the chrome is around $15 to $20 when you can get it, so grab that if you like it. There's another version that's white with red stripes, and don't know too much about that one. There's a red one called a chaser car. I don't know what that means. And those go for $10 to $15. There's a yellow version. There was a black version that I saw in a gift pack. Let's see, what else did we have? We had a lime green one, Again, not the true green bee slime that had black markings. There is a police version. There's also one that is black with a black and a lime green markings. And there's a white one with a black stripe and some marbling in the side decals. So that'll get you started at least. Oh yeah, there's a couple more of them. There's a black one with light black stripes and a gray silver one as well. The black one with the light black stripes is called the Area 27 car. I have no idea what that means. But anyway, the last car is a concept car, and it's very similar to some of the concept cars that Mercedes has actually shown. This one is in kind of a matte blue, but it does have a pearlescent luster to it. It's probably what the AMG GTRs will be like in the future. It notably has a very small tail wing, and that's because I was going to say cockpit, the cabin is tapered off in the back. It's not a wide bulbous thing. Some people said these AMGs looked a little like a Porsche 928. If you catch one from the right angle and the right light, yeah, they do look a little lumpy like a Porsche 928. But anyway, this concept car is really well done. It's made by Majorette. It's part of the Gran Turismo series, and I just had to add that in. That's probably the future of this model lineup, and here's a lot to think about.
HYPERCAR Mountain.